You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show, a wrestling podcast with attitude.
There is so much to talk about right now, it's almost unbelievable as far as wrestling goes. There's just so much wrestling news. Like, I could do an hour show on several different topics. However, this week just happened to be the week of the 3rd and 4th of July parties, things like that. Tonight we have Monetize This. So that's going to be big tonight here. Not on this channel, on my other channel, youtube.com/corruptedpodcast, known now as Corrupted Nation. So come over to Corrupted Nation, subscribe if you want to watch Monetize This tonight. It's going to be fun. Points in the Bank is going to be there. We're going to take a lot of phone calls. It's going to be a lot of hype and crazy bullshit that happens tonight. That being said, let's talk about just several little news stories for the moment. There's so much wrestling news again. I expect that probably Saturday I'm going to spend a lot of time on wrestling because there's just so much stuff going on that I do want to get to a lot of this stuff. WWE Hall of Famer Booker T announced on Twitter earlier, this was a big thing earlier today, that he's backing out of the StarCast convention in Chicago next month with the AEW All Out. Dave Meltzer said this was happening. He found out WWE versus AEW war was very real, and he didn't want to be in the middle of it, so it's a Booker T decision, so they say. Meltzer said he was told to expect another major counter by WWE soon. Booker T still makes appearances on WWE pay-per-view events, as they note here. And, obviously Booker T, a lot of talent comes from reality of wrestling from Booker T to WWE. And, that could be jeopardized or threatened should, Booker T decide to start working with AEW. WWE could be like, hey, don't bother sending us your students anymore. Don't bother us sending this guy or that guy or this thing or that thing because, we don't want it from you, Booker T. So, I don't know. It was a simple tweet. I will not be appearing at StarCast events in Chicago as was advertised earlier. That's all he said. Someone get to him? Did he come to the realization about something? I don't know. But anyway, so then on to the next story, because there's, again, there's a ton of little stories here. And once again, I could do an hour podcast on several of these things. I want to thank Omni Bedlam for becoming a $5 patron on Patreon. And Steve Callan going from $2 to $5, and Gerald Herbert for becoming a $2 patron. If you guys can become $2 patrons, now's the time to support the channel and get 30 hours of bonus content a month on Patreon. So come on over to Patreon. Make sure your cards have re-upped. I just did a 1-hour goddamn morning friggin' madness that I just put up on Patreon. We talked about the Little Mermaid shit, all kinds of other shit. Like, there's just so much stuff. Ali dismisses incorrect report on ongoing surgery. Mustafa Ali, or Ali now. I had a root canal procedure on Wednesday. I think I'll be okay. A lot of people saying he was going to be out with some kind of injury. It's just he had a root canal. Which sucks, by the way. Those are awful. I had 2 of them done. I never thought I would have a root canal done myself. I was like, never want that to happen. Never, ever, ever. But I myself have had probably 16 fillings worked on and 2 root canals myself. But, it's not so bad. Jon Moxley says, by the way, Jon Moxley was on a recent, a bunch of podcasts. And recently he said, WWE, it's almost like Vince McMahon is in the ring with you. The producer is in the ring with you. Moxley explained it's like having 2 little bubbles over your shoulder. And I'm sure a lot of that is, Vince McMahon telling the referee things, the referee telling you things, telling you what to do. And it just being such a controlled environment that obviously that's got to be, what Jon Moxley is talking about. Also recently, people have been talking about Zelina Vega online. Says that Becky Lynch rips off Steve Austin. I'd agree that a little bit they borrow from Steve Austin, but if she does a horrible job of it, I will tell you that. But this is all just done to build this rivalry they're about to have. I think they're about to wrestle on Monday or something like that, so that's all that is. They're just kind of working the Twitter sphere, which makes sense. I get it. Why wouldn't you? So people sent me that. I mean, it's just all a big work thing. So I mean, at this point, you know, I don't care about that because it's all just a, you know, it's not news to me. That's just them working, and okay, they're about to have a match, so makes sense that they start fighting with each other on Twitter or something like that. So don't care about that. And that's really, that's about it. Shawn Michaels on if you reached out to Marty Jannetty. I didn't care too much into that. I could do separate videos on all these things. Cody Rhodes says wrestling is violent. AW releases fighter triple threat. Kenny Omega praised his match. Yeah, we all love each other. Great. I get it. Why not? And that's, you know, that's the news. There's a whole lot more wrestling news that's been going on, so let me get into a few more things here. The major story that was coming out everywhere last couple days while I was taking a couple days off, and I've been taking a lot, this last couple weeks I've had a couple days off here. I do feel cleansed. I feel a lot better. My neck is sore, my back of my head is sore, all from coming off the ibuprofen. But anyway, the point is, everybody's like, oh, WWE is dropping PG, WWE is going to, you know, go TV-14. Some people were sending me screenshots that the show was TV-14 the other day. Here's what I don't understand. All the Monday Night Raw videos that I saw still had WWE listed as TV PG. But yet we saw a middle finger. On one show, we saw a shit. We heard a shit. We saw some sort of stuff, and to me, it's like a flirting with TV-14. It's like a flirt. And I saw all these articles, WWE to go TV-14. WWE's going TV-14. And I really didn't get into those. I was kind of like, I don't really believe any of this. Yet. I don't believe it yet. I get what they're doing. But then I saw a couple articles that were like, you know, WWE to push the limits of PG. Now that I believed a lot more. I believe that way more. The idea of WWE trying to push the limits of PG, I feel like I believe that way more. Now I don't understand how that works. You know what I mean? Like you said shit on a PG show. You saw a middle finger on a PG show, and a couple other things. There's no way that's PG, right? And I'm not complaining because I love to go into TV-14 and all that type of stuff. But, you know, does this, you know, when you say something is rated a certain way, I believe you have to kind of stick with it. So does this mean that, like, they're going to get fined, or what consequences are there? And are they breaking some kind of rule, or are they not? Are they, I mean, I know, am I missing something about the rating system? Is there something I don't know about the rating system that they know? I mean, obviously there is, because I don't work there and I don't know a damn thing about current TV ratings and things like that, where they would clearly know that. So, yeah. I don't know what the limits are or whatever, but I would be more inclined to believe that they are doing a whole, you know, push the limits of PG as opposed to just switching into TV-14. And I know that they are worried about losing the demographic to AEW of teenagers. I can't believe, though, the thing that blows me away is they're just now worried about this. I've been ranting about this for 5 years. They're just now worried. If you look out into the crowd, you don't see as many kids anymore. And if you look out into the crowd, you definitely don't see as many teenagers anymore. Most of the crowd to me looks like 30-year-old men. That's just what I see when I look into the crowd. All the shots of people going, or like, oh, or like that type of stuff. It's not kids. It's fucking 30-year-old men. The people that just can't let go of wrestling. Those are the people that I see in the crowd. It's almost unbelievable. They have lost these kids. They have lost the teenagers, and or even the 20-year-olds. A lot of those people tune out. So this has been going on. I've been saying it for 5 years. This isn't some. They're just now realizing this. I just find this hard to believe. I find it, but yet they. At this point, I feel like you have to almost go TV-14 just to show that you're doing something different, and then you have to change the whole way you write. Because you can't just go TV-14 and continue to write this way. Because it doesn't matter. TV-14, R, PG, G. Doesn't matter what the rating is. If the writing and storylines continue to be this way of over-scripted or overdone or whatever, it doesn't matter what rating you get. That's what nobody understands. It doesn't matter if we start seeing middle fingers on the air. And by the way, they won't fix this either, I bet. And in 2 years, we'll be talking about this. We'll be talking about how WWE gave the fans what they want by going TV-14, and then it still failed. But the reason why they're going to fail is because their method is wrong. It doesn't matter if they write G, PG, or PG-13. If it sucks, it sucks. And that's the problem, is it sucks anyway. That's the problem. Anyway, guys, that's all I have right now. Monetize This Is Tonight. If you want to hear what I have to say about The Little Mermaid, Toy Story 4, me going to the drive-in, Santa Claus, and all kinds of weird shit that I talked about. Bill and Ted 3. There's a bunch of stuff. My feelings on something else, too, that I can't remember what the hell it was I talked about. But I talked about a lot of shit on my Morning Madness episode that's up right now on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. My Patreon, in the $5 tier, we have 350 current patrons. So thanks to the 350 of you guys. Donald Trump was behind bulletproof rainy glass the other day. I talked about that. 1 hour show talking about a bunch of shit. You may want to hear it. It's on Patreon right now. You can play it, download it to your phone, whatever. Download the Patreon app for free. Go to the website for free. And think about following me on Patreon or becoming a patron member to support my show here. All these free videos on YouTube, we can't do them without you guys on Patreon. So if you care about the show, become a patron for $1, $2, $5, $10. We have $25 patrons in the producer tiers who are really carrying, you know what I mean, carrying the heavy lifting of everything I do. And so shout out to those guys who are in that level. We got Freddie Mitchell, 27 Freddie Mitchell, Arknolia Strokelbean, Austin Caucci, Awonddy Big M, Brian Harper, Frog Kid, Gary Metzler, Gerald Armstrong, JayyMenAce, Justin McNeil, who's a $100 a month patron, Mike Gwaz from Brooklyn, Mikey Too Crikey, NickY J, Ryan Pelletier, SithNegan, SoCom Kastle. SithNegan is also a $100 patron. SoCom Kastle and the Bear 1322. We could use a few more, you guys, in the producer level. We'll put your name down below of all the videos when you're a producer of the description box. And that's something if you want to go above and beyond and really help out the show. That's what I have for you. Check out that on Patreon. I'll have more wrestling content tomorrow because there's so much to talk about. And we'll get to it tomorrow. But tonight, it's Monetize This over on my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/corruptedpodcast, known as Corrupted Nation. Corrupted Nation. So come on over, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. tonight. We'll be live, and it's going to be a slaughter tonight. Justin Bailey in the house. Leah, me, you. Maybe Jesse, Dave, I don't know. Who knows who's going to be there? And also, Tommy NC makes his return to the Joe Cronin Show tonight for Monetize This. Stay tuned for that. Tonight. We'll see you then. Here's some other videos that you might have missed popping up on your screen now. Or visit the Patreon. Come on, man. I did a 1 hour podcast. It's up.